Welcome to Free-Form Conversations with Michal, where we discuss the Pola method and other approaches to wellness. If you know in your heart that self-healing is possible and you wish to explore new ways to get in touch with your body and assist it in doing its amazing work, join us. I think you'll enjoy these conversations. Hi everyone, and welcome for another episode of Freeform Conversations with Michal. And today I invited here a friend from Israel, my teacher Anat Axelrode, the woman who taught me everything that I know about eyes and about listening to the eyes. So Anat, hi, and thank you for coming here. And would you like to tell us, maybe just in a couple of words, how you're doing and how is everything going in Israel right now? We're a month into the war.
Well, I'm fine. And thank you for inviting me here. And it's quite sad here in the Middle East and in Israel. And but some of us got hurt a little bit more, some of us less. And so life is continue, and I hope soon there will be peace in all the Middle East and in this beautiful area.
It is a beautiful place. So I'd love for us to perhaps start with understanding a little what it is that you mean when you say that you speak to people's eyes.
Actually, when I started to work with people's eyes 20 years ago, it was almost 21 already years ago in Jerusalem. And after I started to improve my vision, I went to learn it and start to work with people's eyes. And I teach them the Bates method. And it was great. Sometimes it was like, I felt there is something missing because it was obvious that there is something beneath. And I didn't know what it is. And almost always people didn't know as well. No one knows what is underneath. And it's like only occasionally someone can know what is the emotional or internal cause of their eye problem or eye deficiency. And so it was like a very mysterious area, like there is like very hidden. We couldn't get there. And I was very curious about it. I said to myself, there must be someone in the world that can teach me how to reach there. So, but at that time there was like, email was just in the beginning and I didn't know how to find, and I didn't find. So I had to develop it myself. So I went to study. I studied a lot of emotional therapy, a lot of methods of emotional therapy. And it was sometimes interesting, sometimes it helped us, but not always. And then one day, I give my student something. I don't remember even who it was, but it was like about 12 years ago. So most like in Paula methods, in Bates method, we also do the palming or hands on the face or hands
over eyes, we call it, yes.
Over eyes. So in
nowadays I use palming too.
Yes, so we call it palming. And then I just said to this person, just imagine your eyes are like two balls and they are floating on the surface of the water in two pools of water. Like I used to do many times because it's very relaxing sometimes for some people. And then this person imagined it. And then I start to ask questions about it, about the imagination. And then I start to ask the eyes question. And suddenly they start to answer very accurate answer. And it was like, oh my God, everything is in the eyes, actually. All the answer I'm looking for so many years are actually inside. I just need to ask the eyes. The eyes can tell me. What is the inner cause? What is the emotional things that beneath, underneath and cause the eyes to be like that? Or what the eyes asking from us? And so since then, it was like I start to speak with everybody's eyes. And since then, I spoke with, I think, thousands of eyes. I spoke with so many eyes. And I began to understand many, many things about this conversation. So now when I speak with someone's eyes, usually I can quite quickly can articulate what is there, what is the thing that we need to work on, because there are many areas that can be treated or so yeah.
That's amazing. I think it's the first time I hear this story, the way you told it today, right? It's like, yeah, I'm so happy that you told it here. Thank you for that. You know, as you spoke, I kind of realized what is the thing that really connects the Pola method and listening to you, to the eyes, your method, that really resonates so much. I want to tell the listeners that I started a treatment with you for my eyes after doing Pola for many years. And when I met you, I just, everything you said and everything that we did during our sessions made so much sense to me. And I want to explain what it is now. But like now I can really tell it in a clear way, I think. So what I think that is like connects or resonates in both methods, that is actually almost exactly the same, is that we're looking for the answers in the body. And we really believe that in order to help somebody heal, we have to connect to the needs of the body, and that the body is able to tell us what it is that it needs in order to heal. And we don't come with the idea and we say, okay, this is what you have to do. We come and as practitioners, we sit there, and in the beginning, we don't know. And we allow ourselves to be there and be in the place of not knowing, not being experts. What we're experts in is, I think, in listening to the eyes, we're experts in listening. And in Pola, we're experts in watching, we're looking at. I tell my students, I'm just a pair of eyes here. Because in the beginning, you may be doing things that I can see, but you cannot feel yet. And I'm here to tell you, look, I'm now noticing this and that.
Wow,
and with the sensations that my students experience and their ability to tell me, the more accurate they are in describing what it is that they feel in their body and what are the sensations, then I'm able to help them direct the work, because then I have the input that I have from my vision, what I see, and what they tell me. And with that, we can really help connect more and more with the body. And I think this is exactly what you're doing in listening to the eyes as well. And I wanted to ask you a question about that. I find that one of the things that are most difficult for people in the beginning of a treatment like this is to feel that it is okay for them to give their input. That every tiny sensation and every little thought or piece of memory or feeling that is all of a sudden coming up, all of this is important and is the heart of the treatment. In the beginning, people feel like, okay, we do whatever you do. I constantly hear from people, I trust you, we'll just do whatever you like. And I'm like, no, that's not how it's going here. I'm here for you. And we together, I'm going to hold your hand, together we will connect to what it is that you have. And I remember you in the first sessions with me, I remember that feeling that we were doing the sessions over Zoom, and I felt as if you were there holding my hand so that I could trust that I'm not alone, And no matter how scary the process may be, what comes up from my eyes, what my eyes want to express, somebody there is holding me and is together with me. So what, in your experience, what is it that people are most either afraid of or kind of slows down in the beginning, like diving into the depth of their insight?
So there is few things about it. First, I want to emphasize what you said, to be with. I think this is one of the most, it's the biggest thing, and it's the most quiet thing. It's like nothing happened. I'm just here with you. But this is so, so, so important. And for many people, this being with them is such a healing. Sometimes healing so deeply that the childhood traumas, because many times the difficulty that we experience in life, mostly in childhood, it's not just the difficulty. Actually, the most difficult thing is that we were in the difficult alone. There was no one with us, even if there was a parent with us physically, but there was no one with us in this experience. For example, if a child is afraid and everybody trying to explain him why he shouldn't be afraid, so he stays alone with his fear, and he can't, we say in Hebrew, he can't contain his fear because nobody taught him how to contain fear. But if a mother comes to a child and say, and look him in the eyes and say, wow, you're so afraid. Or like a child I saw last week, and it's not about the eyes. I just saw a child just because of the war, and she say, I see monsters in the dark. I don't like to be in the dark because I see monsters. And I just, usually adults say, well, there is nothing to worry about. There is no monster or blah, blah, blah. But I just want to be with her in her experience. So I ask her what they look like, those monsters. And it sounds very frightening that there is a monster. So where are they? I think she said under the bed, and it just, I was with her in this. It's okay that you are afraid. I'm with you when you are afraid. I'm not judging you. I'm not trying to take you out of it. Later I can help you. Okay. But first I just want to be with you. So it's okay to be afraid, and you can be loved. Like you have home in the world when you're afraid. You're not alone. And then when you treat a child like that, he learns to do it to himself when he grows up, and then he's afraid of something when he's 40. But he can contain this fear. He can breathe. I'm afraid, but it's okay. I'm okay. I can be afraid and okay at the same time. And it's same with sadness and confusion and helplessness and even joy and happiness, with all kinds of emotion that weren't accepted in our home when we grew up. And so you ask, what is the difficulty to dive in? Why people are, because many people have difficulty. So there's so many reasons, actually. For example, one reason is the people are, they judge themselves so harshly that they need to do something perfect. So I said, imagine the eyes are like two balls floating into pools of water, but they see only one. They think that there are something wrong with me. But actually, it's very important that there is only one ball in one pool, and the other one doesn't appear to us. And this is so important input, because it's not an accident. It's not something wrong. Is it exactly what it's supposed to be? Because I have connection with one eye more, and the other one I can't feel it, and then we need to work with it. Or sometimes the people can say the ball is sinking in the water, and it's not okay. I'm trying to put it up, but the healing will be to let it sink, but not alone, with me, together. So this is one thing, is that I'm judge myself that I'm doing something wrong. It's not supposed to be like that, and it's supposed to be exactly like that. And the other thing is the fear, usually unconscious fear, to meet our pains, to meet our inner pain. So there is so much pain for most of us inside. And when we speak with eyes, usually it directs us so quickly and so deeply into our pain. And when people sometimes they meet their pain and they want to run away, like it's too much, I don't want to go there. And it's okay. Or they can disconnect suddenly. They don't see anything, they don't feel anything. It's okay. It's the body soul way to protect ourselves. And yeah, I think maybe there is more reason, I'm sure, but this is two reason that comes to me now.
Yes, and I totally connect with both of them. The first one is really criticizing ourselves within the first step. We just started, and the first step is always right because that's what we come with. But there's some, inner judge inside of us that already begins the session by saying, no, that's not okay. And we want to tell them as practitioners or therapists, yes, whatever you come with is perfectly fine. We'll start there. And the other thing is indeed the fear of meeting the pain. And that's actually the second thing I wanted to ask you about. Because I know that I actually have a name for you in Hebrew, but I don't know if I can even translate it. But in the first sessions with Anat, one of the things that I've noticed most was how courageous she was. So how brave to go with me and ask me questions about the most painful things that I'm like, how do you, like, are you sure you want to hear the answers for these things? She always did.
Of course I did.
Yes. I thought that you were very brave and very courageous to decide to ask these very direct questions and to agree to dive in with me. But I also once, that was like a side note, but I wanted to say that when I studied with you, we really worked a lot on just being and not being afraid of what may come up from our clients, from our clients.
You mean us as a therapist?
As therapists, yes. That's when I already studied your method with you. So that's not during my treatment. That was the next step when I decided that I want to become a therapist myself. I remember that we worked with you a lot on staying there, being there, not being afraid, because many times we feel the fear and pain from our clients, and we have to stay there to create space, right? The space that you talked about in the very beginning of our recording today. So I wanted to ask you, what, because I know what it is for me, and I will say it, but first I want to hear from you. Where does this confidence, where does this inner stillness, inner quietness and grounding that you bring to the space of healing, where does it come from? What is this very strong conviction that you have in you that helps you sit there and allow all of this, pain and darkness, perhaps like the shadow, come out and play its course there in session? What is it? What strengthens you?
It's a beautiful question, actually.
Oh, thank you.
And I think the first thing that is most important is that I met this shadow in myself. I met the pain in myself. So I need to go and face it in me first. And because I did it with myself many times, and I meet my pain so many times, and I discover that when I go through it, when I see the pain, I'm going there. And why I'm going there is because I discover when I'm going straight into the pain and allow myself to feel it and allow it to drown me and to flood me and to overwhelm me. And then maybe sadness and tears will come out. I discovered that this actually frees me. It makes me much happier person afterwards. So I become much more happy person over the years because I let myself touch the pain. So I don't have to run away from the pain. I don't have to shut myself from the pain. When I see pain in myself, I immediately so glad. Well, glad is not exactly, but I'm very much want to experience it because I know what it will do to me. I know I will be better. I will be happier afterwards. And so I'm not afraid of pain. And I'm not afraid of looking to the pain in the eye. So good. And so I'm not afraid of meeting this pain in the patient or my student. So I think that's what I said to my students in the training course. So you can always meet someone else's pain as much as you met yours. You cannot go with someone deeper than you are with yourself. You can speak about it, but you can't actually be there if you didn't meet. And so yes, this is I think the most important thing. And the second thing is when I go into the pain with people or into the conversation with the eyes, which is usually very, very deep, I can actually feel the eyes or feel what is happening inside. I can feel it. And many times when I speak with eyes, it's like I see a little child that is afraid, that is in pain, that is think that is no good, that is feel guilty, that is all of our childhood trauma. And I can just feel there is a child there and I just want to be with him. And I don't care what he said. I don't care what others said. I just want to be, and I feel what I want to do with this child. And so it becomes very easy for me to do that. And I really like to do that. I'm enjoying, I really enjoy so much to do that. I feel privileged to do that. And another thing about that, when we go to the area of meeting the pain or meeting the deepest, I don't know, darkness. It's very interesting because we need to slow down there. It's not the pace of regular conversation. The pace needs to go down as we go down into the inner world, into the darkness, into the pain. So there is need to slow down, not so much speaking, and just be there. And again, just be there. Sometimes I just from time to time say, I'm here with you. And we don't need to go anywhere. We don't need to fix anything. And that's where the deepest healing taking place, I think.
And something happens there. That's what I was looking to hear from you. Don't think that I'm not happy with what you told me. I'm so happy to hear all of this. But I know that there is and there is something that also happens there. When we wait, when we make all this space, something happens. You want to tell it? Because I can say it myself, but I'm so happy.
You said.
So what I wanted to say is that I know and I have the trust when I sit with people. And the thing is that the body knows the answers are there. I don't have to be smart. I don't have to be knowledgeable. I don't have to invent anything. I'm just there to witness with my client the healing. We're sitting there. Healing is already there. We're just witnessing it. We're allowing it to happen. And in a way, I think that what I bring there mostly is a lot of respect for the process. I sit there and I respect whatever happens. I have this deep trust that healing is already there. I'm only there to witness it. As you said, you feel privileged. You feel so honored to be part of this process, because we both know that people will step out of this session feeling so much better. And I don't know if people can see, but when I'm with Anat, I start to cry immediately. Luckily, it's on speaker view, so when you speak, people can only see you and not me, but I'm just sitting and crying all the time. There's something in your presence for me that really opens up my heart, and I'm like, what I wasn't able to take out all these months, I think, is coming out during this recording. But we know deeply that the healing is not an option, it is there. And we're just going in a route or in a way that we don't know that way yet. It's new, it's individual, it's different, it's authentic for that person. But we've been there so many times that we know that it will happen. All we have to do is create that space and be there with them and then witness it with them. And that is something that I know we both totally.
It's like the wisdom of the heart, not wisdom of the mind. It's like we don't need to be smart. We need to be in the heart wisdom there. Yes. And it's much deeper wisdom.
And also a very compassionate wisdom. No matter how painful the process will be, no matter how scary the first realization of what it is that's going on inside of us is scary, maybe something we never ever wanted to remember or see again, no matter how painful it is. Our subconscious, our body, whatever you want to call it, the body and mind connection will bring it to us in a compassionate way. We will have to meet the pain, but the resolution will be simple, healing, and compassionate. We will find a lot of love there that is hiding inside of us. It's not, somebody very loving will be there, hopefully, to accompany us, but the love is inside.
Yeah.
Go talk.
Yeah, you said it's so beautiful. And I want to add something that as a therapist, I found out something many years ago that really changed everything. And that is the courage not to know. And sometimes I think every therapist knows this feeling that I don't know what to do now. Like I thought I know something and now it's blocked. That it's not working like something that I did. And what I'm going to do now, I have no idea. And it can be in any part of the session. It can be in the beginning, it can be in the middle, it can be in the end. And when we get there, this is the most important occasion in the session. This is so important because when we don't know what to do, and we're not panicking. It's not going into panic. And I can just relax into it and say to myself, good, and I don't know what to do now. And I'm just going to wait. And then many times I say to my patient, now we're going to wait. Or now I'm going to close my eyes and connect. And you can do the same. Or let's do palming and just be quiet for a while, because I want to connect. And when I connect, I allow myself not to know. And I open my heart and love this person in front of me even more. That's what I do. I just open my heart and I agree not to know. Last week, I had this very powerful session with a person, and it took me a long time. I didn't know for a long time. I closed my eyes. I said, let's connect. And there was like chattering in my mind. I said, well, it's too long. It's already a few minutes gone. And this person is paying me to help him. And I don't know what to do. But it's not, I don't know, like, there is a problem. I can think there is a problem. But I learned to trust that this not knowing is very good, because if I let it, there will be something that is more wisdom than me and the patient that will come now. It can come to me or it can come to the patient. And in this session, when I allow myself for a long time not to know, there was a so powerful knowing came afterwards. And it was one of the most powerful session I ever experienced with someone. There is a pain release that it was, whoa. I don't know. It was really, really powerful session. And it was thanks to me able to not knowing for a few minutes and just wait. But wait with trust. It's not waiting in panic. It's waiting trust that I'm going to know soon, or something will happen soon. This is so, so important for therapists to know that.
We too, I mean, as therapists, we're humans too. And all the, I think, the social expectations of deliver, right? Somebody's paying me, or the time. I wish all of these things, I look at them as obstacles, like, because they distract us. We didn't have time, we didn't have money. I'm just sitting here with you. We have all the time in the world. And there's something I really like that you do in your sessions, in the way that you, I also use that in my sessions. I've learned it from you. We have all the time in the world, and we don't have to do anything. There's nothing to achieve. We're just here. We're just being present. And at the end of the day, it's the biggest gift. Who has time for themselves nowadays, right? Who takes the time to do that? And it is going to be actually the next question that I have for you. I know that you're a big believer in people doing the work on their own. But sometimes working with yourself with pain is too difficult. So what are your guidelines for people? Like when is the time that you know that you really need somebody to work with you? It's best to do it with someone else, or do you not have such line? Like, do you think that people can just work with themselves if it's accessible for them to, let's say, speak with their body or with their eyes? What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I think many times we need help in order to go to these dark places. It's almost impossible to go there alone. In the beginning, at least, we can't. We need this healing of someone being with us there. So this is the main thing, that we are not there alone, because we can't go there alone. It's too painful, and we shut this place in our childhood usually. And so to go there again, we need someone with us, that be there with us. And then afterwards, we can continue alone. But I always make sure that people want help. When people come to me to session, I make sure they want my help. So, for example, they say, I want help. I want you to help me with my eyes. I have this and this disease or this situation with my eyes. And then we speak with the eyes. The eyes said, for example, the eyes can say, we want you to start feel. You're not connected to your emotion. And then I'm speaking with this person. Are you about this connection? And I say, do you want to be more in contact with your emotion? Do you want us to go to this journey together, you and me? Do you want it? Because you don't have to. You came here to me to improve your vision. It's not necessarily mean you want to go to this journey of being in touch with your emotion and to meet your darkness and your pain. But so when I make sure people say yes, and say yes that they want to do it with me and now. So, and actually this is so important for therapists to make sure that the student or the patient is requesting their help now in this thing, because we can start and everything is going well, and then many times we get like into a wall in therapy. It's like something is not working. And when usually the reason that is not working, because there is no request for help here. And we need to verify it. Do you want help in this? Do you want me to be here with you and help you in this? The person can say, no, I don't want. And then there is no reason to continue in this direction. Or he said, yes, I want, but I'm so afraid. And then we can speak about it. And then it resolved the block. This is so important because we assume that if someone comes to us and pays us money, he wants our help. But it's not like that, not necessarily. And if we feel there is like, I'm hitting a wall, there is something in this area. The reason that, especially when we talk to the body, we can't be the one that asks and the one that answer. Well, I can ask my eyes, how are you, right eye? And I say, I'm okay, I'm good. I can do that. It's very superficial. It's like, I can't really go deep and be the answer and the asker at the same time. So in our session, I or someone, the therapist is asking, and the patient can be totally in the answering mode of the eye, of the body, and he's not need to think about it. So that's why you can't do it both. And even me, that I spoke with my eyes many times, and I spoke with people's eyes so many times, sometimes I feel that if I want to connect with my eyes really deep or go deeper from time to time, I ask one of my students to speak with my eyes. I need someone to ask my eyes, and then I can connect to the answer. I can't do it both. Even I'm very experienced in this. Sometimes some people can do, some people don't need, they need only the first initiation. But most people need it from time to time again. And another thing about asking for help, to ask for help is an act of weakness. We ask help when we are weak. If we are always strong and there is no problem, I want to ask for help. If I have to be strong, I cannot ask for help. Only when I allow myself to be weak. And for some people, this is the most difficult thing. Like I can't let myself be less than very strong. And for some people, the act of agreeing to be weak and to ask for help, this is the healing itself already happened. You can't ask for help when you are very strong and know everything. It's not really asking for help. And then we can't help you. We can't help someone that is 100%, okay, everything is great. No. Many of the things that I learned about of therapy, I learned from one of my great teachers. I learned from many teachers, but one main teacher that I learned from him so much, his name is Shai Orr. Is the author of the book Miraculous Parenting.
Miraculous Parenting, yes. It's on Amazon in English.
And I really, really recommend to read this book. And he's an amazing man. Just want to acknowledge this wisdom of this person.
Just wanted to comment about the term or the name of Shai's book, Miraculous Parenting. We're in a state of war in Israel, and there are many voices from around the world. What people are mostly in pain about or regarding is the children. It is painful for everyone, anyone in the world. It is painful when children get hurt. There is so much hope in children. Something is so pure. There is all this potential, which is so young. We don't even know where it will take, how it will envelop itself. Something is so miraculous about children. And in a way, every time that I meet pain in the world, again and again, I take it to the place of the mother or parenting in general. It's being there with this little miracle that is either our child or somebody else's child that we happen to spend time with, right? You always talk about all the children that you meet. They don't have to be your own children. These are children that you're part of their lives and they're part of yours. The same with me when in the years that I was a teacher, these little souls, in my case, they were 8 and 9 years old. They come to me. I'm the person they're going to spend their day with. I want them to feel loved. But also there's another miracle that happens there. Because when we agree to see the world through their eyes, we agree to see the miracle in life. And we agree to open our hearts and grow as human beings. Because we made our own journey to become to where we are now as adults. And now we can join another journey. This is the journey of either our children or, again, other children in the world that come into our lives. And we can develop and progress with them. There is a huge message with every child that we meet that we can either choose to connect with or dismiss. And hopefully, all of us as society are able to choose to join this miracle, to look at the world from the eyes of that child, and also be able to connect with their emotions. I think this is the most crucial thing, to connect with their emotions, not to be there like the knowing-all adult that can explain the world to them, but to get off that pedestal and stand there with them, go in their level, be able to see the world from their eyes and feel their emotions. And I think from there, a better world can come up. That's the only way.
Totally, yeah. If people will be more connect with their emotions, we won't see this kind of war and horrors. We won't see it, because these all the leaders that cause each other war. They are all children that suffers so much pain, and there was no one there for them, and we suffer this result, because that's what happened. And so the work that the parents do with their children at home is the most sacred work to heal the world.
I think that one of the things that really bother me nowadays, ever since October 7th, as a vision practitioner or as a vision teacher, is that many of us saw things that may not be very pleasant to watch. Some are serious, terrible horrors. Knowing my eyes and myself, I really tried to avoid as much as possible. But as it is with such events, I kept hearing. And then my mind started to imagine. And as I heard more from people, from friends, from family, from witnesses, from people who spoke in the press and media, I became more and more tolerant to what I allow myself to watch. So when I saw that an interview is going into some images, I now allow myself to see more than I allowed myself, let's say, a month ago. And it always bothers me. And I had a serious conversation with myself this morning because I allowed myself to see something that I didn't see yet. I didn't watch yet. It was the first time I saw that image. And it was horrific. And I started a conversation with myself because I told myself, I hope I'm not hurting my eyes physically. I'm not causing some serious harm, physical harm to myself. And then the answer that I got from like the other small voice inside me said something like, why do you assume that this can hurt you? And I couldn't answer myself that question. And I really wanted to ask you, what is your take on everything that we heard and perhaps some of us witnessed in real life and or watched over, the media in some way or another?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a good question, because the horrors that people went through here is really unimaginable. It's like no one ever thought that we can be in this hell. And like you said, some of us saw videos that are horrible. Some of us just read things and we imagine the horribles, and it can be even worse sometimes. And I think we all in Israel are so traumatized by this. And I think there is many places in the world that have the same horrors, that it's like when it's not the only place in, and also in Gaza, there is so many people hurt, innocent people hurt. It's so terrible situation. And I think I ask myself now, I wonder when all of this seeing that is happening in the last few weeks, when it will come to eye disease. Because many times when we see things that break our heart, it can cause eye disease. Or if we see something that is we can't handle, it's overwhelming, it can cause another eye disease. And if something that is whatever it does to us, what we see can cause different eye disease. And it is really something that we need to think about in those days. And I think about it a lot. And I think we all need to do some trauma release therapy. The one that, if you can, I mean, it's very important to release it in some kind of method. There is many methods that release trauma. I know I work with EFT, emotional freedom technique of, but there is many others like the EMDR, and many others. I'm not familiar with all of them, but it's very important to release, because maybe I will still remember what I saw, but there won't be any emotional baggage with it. And so when we speak with eyes, because I spoke with so many eyes, I can see that sometimes, like, for example, I saw someone that I love in pain, for example, dying in hospital. And this can cause macular degeneration, for example. Or I had some experience that my heart was broken, like they fired me from the job that it was so precious to me, or my lover left me. Something that broke my heart can cause macular tear or macular detachment, retinal detachment, which is very serious, retinal detachment. So yes, we need to be very aware that if we saw something that shakes us, it's good to go to someone and release this trauma. So we'll still remember it, but it won't shake us anymore. And the body will release this tension out of it.
I was wondering if there is something specific that you notice that people tend to have when they see something that they didn't really want to see. For example, I'll give an example. One of my clients realized that she has a vision issue that is caused by her eyes trying to protect her as a little girl, not seeing something that was too horrific to witness. This is something that happened to her. She went through a lot of therapy, and she's in a different place now as an adult. She's able to face that horrible thing that happened to her. And only now that she's older and that she met that place and worked on the wounds, the emotional wounds of whatever happened to her, her childhood trauma, her eyes only now are willing to tell her, we cannot see very clearly right now because we're still hiding something you were not supposed to see as a little girl. That something was just too much for a little girl to see and witness. So I'm wondering if there are certain things that you can connect with the eyes not wanting the individual to see, to witness.
Yeah. So it can be like that the eyes, like the eyes is keeping something and not showing us. Sometimes it's because of the eyes are protecting us. I met so many eyes that when I spoke with them and I said, why is that? And what do you have to say? And they said, we are protecting you. They say to the patient, we are protecting you, or we protected you. And this is, wow, I feel sometimes it's so moving to hear that. Sometimes eyes can even, I met eye just the other week, and try to remember, I met an eye. Oh yeah, there was an accident in the eye. She was 3 years old and she wounded her eye, so the eyes went blind completely. And we speak with the eyes, and we got to know that the eye actually sacrificed herself in order to save this girl, because till this time it was so bad for this girl. And if she will continue to doing what she did, she was very hyper. And if she will continue, she will end it very badly. I think maybe maybe the parents will abandon her, or maybe she will get really hurt or abused. But because of this accident that she did to herself, actually, she played with something and it wounded her eye. This saved her life, because from that day, everything changed and she was taking care of more good. So the eyes, I hear so amazing story about how the eyes are come to protect us from reality. And they're amazing, our eyes. Many people come and they are angry about their eyes. The eyes doing this to me. Why are they doing this to me? They don't doing this to you. They doing this for you. And just to understand that there's so many wisdom, even in the eye issues, there's so many wisdom and protection many times to us. It's not a mistake. It doesn't mean that we can't heal it or we can't understand what it is and help the eyes, but it's not a mistake.
This is so true. I remember that we also spoke about this we had a conversation once with Nathan Axelrode in his podcast, and we both agreed that the body is there to help us. The body works tirelessly to protect us all the time. And when we come and complain about the body, it only shows that we misunderstood the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like when the gas lights in the car is turned on, and we can, why are you turning on? Let's break you. And instead of understand that we need to do something wrong, we need to put fuel.
And our body needs our attention. It needs food, it needs rest, it needs movement. It has to be in nature. There is no way around it. We have to spend time in nature.
Yes.
And we are also social animals, and we need connection, and we need to feel a belonging to a family, to a group of people, to friends, to a community, to a country, perhaps, I don't know, and definitely to the rest of the world. In the times of war, I think what we mostly feel, that people are not together, that people are not, in a way, cease to see the humanity in the other side. And it is important that we all understand that we're all humans and we all need the same thing, and that is love. And that is connection and understanding, so that there is room for all of us in this world.
Yeah, there is a quote of Mother Teresa that my partner is in the end of her emails, and it says, I hope I translate it right, we drew our family lines too close. It's like the family is all humanity. Like, don't draw it too close. It's like, this is the problem with the world, that we draw the line of where our family is too close. We need to expand it.
So our belonging is much larger than to just our family.
Yes, all the humankind, all the human beings. We are all connected.
And also that when we get to know each other, when we spend time with another human, most usually all of these boundaries, all these borders of differences between people and different beliefs and at the end of the day, these are two people just spending time together. It's in all of us. And I think where I was trying to get with what I said earlier on shame, and I couldn't, I kind of lost my train of thought, was that no matter how ashamed we feel about certain emotions, if there is room for that, if there is another human that can contain it, and we can relieve that, that's the horrible thing, whatever it is, we're so ashamed of, we can move on beyond that, and we can do things better, and we can accept ourselves and even live with that burden of that memory, of that shame that is part of us, perhaps. We can move on with our lives and know that little monster, perhaps, that is, the shadow that is always there, but keep on living, keep on being in. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is another therapist texting me right now. I'm just going to say this because I think it's not, I'm always muted. My phone is always muted.
This
All of a sudden I have this text coming. This is from a trauma therapist that just decided to text me. All of a sudden, what were you going to say, Anna?
I say always in a session, in a therapy session, everything that happens in the session is related to the session. So this ring now, and this maybe text, if you open it, it's also part of our conversation. It's not an interruption. It's somehow connects to this discussion.
So just see how appropriate. So the therapist is texting, it's a friend of mine. He's texting me this. Post-traumatic growth is a fascinating thing.
Wow.
Why he chose to text me that right now, I have no idea. There's probably going to be some continuation, but now I am muting my phone. But isn't it amazing? We can grow. We can become something better than what we were before. And with the pain and with our experience, no matter how traumatic it was, we can bring our gift to the world.
Yeah, this is how we grow in the world, usually, through pain. We can grow not through pain, but most of us don't do it. We need the pain to do the next step of growing.
Yes.
And so it's opportunity, pain, and even horrible things are always opportunity for us, human and individually, and also for countries and nations. It's opportunity. And now in the Middle East, I think, if we can say something about the situation, with all the sadness and horror, and I know people that died and kidnapped and so many horrible things, still we have now a great opportunity to change the situation in the Middle East. And if the leaders will be developed enough to take this opportunity or not, I don't know. But this is opportunity. An opportunity for a person who had gone through trauma. It's opportunity of growth.
Thank you for saying that, Anat, and thank you for being here and for your compassion, for the people that work with you and come to you. And I know that you've been offering your help for free, no matter whether people needed help with their eyes or just somebody to speak to. You were there for them, and you still are. Tomorrow you have may I say that?
Yeah.
Tomorrow you're offering just yet another palming session for people who just need to relax their eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you for everything that you're doing on that.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, Michal, for just being so great and for your courage to go through this healing process yourself. And I really, really like to hear your wisdom, and you're also a teacher for me. And one day I will come and learn the power from you.
I'd love that. Anat, thank you very, very much. Thank you for everyone who was here with us today. and joined us for another freeform conversation. And I'll see you all next time.